So ever since I was a child, I always had a fascination with rocks. I would play around my mom's yard, and the yard was beautiful. Like, my mom had a nice, good sized yard. And I would definitely pick up the rocks. I had names. I would talk to them, things like that. And it wasn't until adulthood, or when I got older, I was like, okay, I'm gonna put this away. This is, this is kid stuff. So I revisited it after. It was more so like after I healed myself, after I took the time and looked at the limiting belief systems, looked at, just really shed a lot of things off of my spirit. I was like trying to return to my, so at my core, and so it definitely, rocks and things came back to mind, and so, in the area I am in, there was some construction going on, and for me it was like a lot of the dirt that was like compacted and things like that. Like, I was able to get, like, just, see the earth was moved around. So I started to collect rocks in that area, and some of the rocks I found were like absolutely amazing, and it almost seems like after a while, like, this is a calling that I had. Like, I feel like the energy of the rocks are calling me to them. And so let me show you some of the rocks I have with me right now. So this is a gate that I found, and it has like this spiral. It's kind of hard to see. It has like some kind of spiral thing going on. And granted, I could try to polish these and try to see how they look polished, but I almost enjoy the rawness of rocks. I enjoy, as it is, and as someone who has certification in, crystal therapy, I know that raw stones have more of a vibration than, the ones that are buff. Obviously, like, less is more of the surface is taken off and things like that. So it makes sense, but I started to really feel the vibration, the energy of the rocks, and how it would change me. And here's one of my other ones. Like, this one is really cool, right? I love this one. I call it my yin yang rock. It's beautiful. But I could definitely feel the energy of the rocks. I can feel it. And what really did it for me is I ended up buying crystal jewelry. This was before I started making jewelry. And it was so funny because I bought it, and then when I bought it, it broke. And I'm like, you know what? I just bought this. Like, this is crazy. I'm not having this money go to waste. And so I found a way to fix it. I looked it up, how to fix it and everything. And my spirit team inside me, like, they're like, you better start selling these. And I'm like, stop playing, y'all. I'm really about to start selling these. They're like, yep, you about to start selling these. I'm like, oh, okay. And so here I am today. I have made some of these. Even this one has a whole story behind it. It's so funny. I had bought this like a long time ago, okay? I ain't trying to give my age away. But I bought it a while ago, and it actually started off as a type of bracelet like this. It started off as a bracelet like this, and eventually it broke. And so I was like, okay, I'm gonna have to figure out a way, because I really like this, to keep it. And I basically ended up putting it on a chain. And so that's one of my things I want to do, also make, is some of these with the chain on there, and I'll probably start selling these. But this is actually the one of the first ones, the first one that I redid. I initially put it on leather, then after that broke, I was like, you know what, I'm gonna just put it on this. But there's this one particular one that I have at home that I have to redo. That when I bought it initially, I didn't know what it did. Now, mind you, this was when I didn't, at this point, I wasn't really looking into what the rocks did. I just was like, oh, this is pretty, I like it. So I was going through my dark night of the soul, right? And so I basically had it on, right? And I was wearing it, and I was like, oh, I feel nice, I took it off, and I actually felt the difference in my body, okay? And this stone was garnet, and I was dealing with heartache, and I literally felt the difference when I took it off. So that's what sold me. That is what absolutely sold me on crystals and their healing energy. Also, not only that, I know that for me, when I'm meditating, when I am doing spiritual work and I'm holding a stone, like I will ask my spirit, which stone I should pick up, and I'll ask the stones, which stone should I pick up, and I'll trust my intuition, what's, being led to me, what is calling me, and I'll pick it up, and it actually helps with my meditation. It helps me to connect to Gaia, our planet. I have them all around the place where I work. Like where I work, I have a bunch of stones and rocks. I found quartz. And you know what? Really, it's like a lot of little situations that really sold me on using crystals. I actually found a crystal that was like, it was part of it, but you can see straight into the back of it. And so, look, if anybody find a stone like that look, I can make a nice piece of jewelry out of this, you probably gonna be looking like how I be looking. I be outside, I be looking straight in the ground. Because I'm like, what's down here? I found some stones that are like conglomerates, which is like a combination of different rocks, like kind of like the yin yang one I showed you. But I've had ones that have like little red stones inside of it. Like, I don't know if it's probably strawberry quartz, I don't think it's like ruby or anything like exotic like that. But I found a lot of beautiful rocks. I've definitely found a bunch of quartz. I found some obsidian. So there's something in the rocks that literally I feel like it's like I'm a magnet type of thing, or I have. See, this is the thing. To me, everything has a vibration. And once you start tapping into that awareness and that understanding, you will be able to feel the vibration of trees, feel the vibration of birds, feel the vibration of the ground. You'll be able to sense the vibration of just everything. And so for me, I think intuitively, something in me is like, hey, go look over there, go look over there. And sometimes, I have some foresight. So sometimes I'll go out and I'll be told what I'm going to find. And it may not be the exact looking rock, but it may be the color. What I'm saying? I'll get messages, of what I'm going to find. So this is why I'm into crystals. And honestly, to be really frank, before my Dark Night of the Soul, and obviously after, I was like, okay, as a child, I'm gonna put this away. I was like, that stuff is crazy. You know what I'm saying? I was like, no, absolutely not. That stuff is weird. I'm not doing it. And no, but I think definitely the Dark Night of the Soul put me to that place where I was basically reset to factory. What do they call it? Factory settings. I reset it, my spirit, my energy, my psyche, as much as I could to factory settings. And I don't know what kind of scale, you know what I'm saying? It's a scale, okay, how 0% or 100% factory settings, but I am as even before Reiki. Now that's a whole nother conversation I want to have too. Even before Reiki, I was basically restored back to factory settings as much as I possibly could, just due to the healing that I had to do, the deep healing I had to do. So crystals have changed my life. They have changed my life. I want to have sessions with my clients where they can actually feel. There's a certain technique that I formulated in my mind that my spirit team was like, hey, do this after the knowledge I've been acquiring from my courses in order to be a crystal healer. So through this, there's a special technique that I've used, and I want to share that with my clients who are interested in crystals. And I haven't really met anyone that is not as client-wise, that's okay, I'm willing to try it, because a lot of people are like, I'm not doing that, that's witchcraft, type deal. But these are things in the ground, okay? These are living entities. Ooh. That's a confirmation. They're living entities. Okay. Everything is a living entity: the wind, the air, the sun, the stars, the moon, the sky, the fabric of space and time. Okay. The quantum field. These things are all conscious. Everything is conscious. There's nothing that exists that does not have consciousness. So I have a relationship with my rocks. I have a relationship with them. And I'm grateful for them. And this is the thing. I think this is the thing that people get mixed up. And some people do this now, but for me, they're like a resource. They're a tool. They're really a brother and sister. Okay, like to me, the rocks and crystals are brothers and sisters. Now, I'm going to I may thank the rock and say, I appreciate you and your energy, but ultimately, I know that these things come from God. So what I think ends up happening is people rely fully and solely on them, and that's not what I'm doing. I am using them as a tool to amplify my mental processes, my meditations, my communication with God, my communication with my angels and guides. Like, I'm using these as a tool to further assist, if I want to say manifestation. To me, I feel like it amplifies. It's an amplifier. I don't say, okay, well, I'm gonna go buy this crystal and this crystal gonna do everything for me. No, that's not how it works. And also for me, I use it as a reminder. Like, I have these, they're to me, they're a spiritual reminder. But definitely, in terms of amplifying your energy, in terms of amplifying your messages, in terms of hearing your angels and guides and gods clearer, yes, absolutely. Because what's going on is, if we look at how crystals are used in technology, they're used for satellites, they're used for computers, phones, they're used to store data, okay? They're used to increase signals. So we as humans, we are actually walking, talking batteries, and everything, honestly, to some extent, is a walking, talking battery, okay? The air has a charge to it, okay? The ground has a charge to it. Trees have it. Everything has a charge. So it's something with a charge. You need the opposite, you know what I'm saying? As far as I know, I'm not an expert in this, but if you take, the opposite charge of one thing and put them together, you got energy. Some sparks are flying, okay? So I'm so grateful for my stones and my rocks. Like, they help me stay grounded, and also they're beautiful. They're absolutely beautiful. They're absolutely beautiful. Even in their raw form, they're absolutely beautiful. The only reason why I don't wear as many raw stones, like physically, is because they're uncomfortable. Like, they're actually uncomfortable, if they're scratching you. But like, even this one, I found this one raw. Okay, so whatever was going on in the ground, it allowed it to get this smooth. But this one, however, definitely is harder. But look how beautiful this is. This is in the ground. So for me, it's like, people claiming that what God has given us naturally is witchcraft more than the medicine that the doctor has. It's just kind of like, okay, like, I don't even want to shade nobody, but I'm gonna just say, okay, you know what I'm saying? That's how you see it, and that's where you at with it, you know what I'm saying? Because I think that generally also, we are all in our own different paths. Everyone got their own different path. And mind you, I can't judge them, because guess what? I was there. I can't be like, oh, what, they doing that, da, da, da. I was there. So I can't really judge nobody that's saying negative things about rocks. Everyone is on a different path. And that's how I see it. And I think what ends up happening when people get into a spiritual understanding and they start to say, okay, well, I'm above this person because I'm spiritually right here. No, boo-boo. No, we are all one. We are all one. You were not there too long ago where that person is for you to judge them. You were not there too long ago. And even if still, that doesn't make you better than them. That doesn't make you better than them. You have a different understanding. You're on a different path. Period. And that's how I see religions. I see religion as that's their path. You know what I'm saying? But who am I to shade them on their path. They, within themselves, that satisfies them in their spiritual journey. Who am I to say, okay, like, you know what I'm saying? Now, I may give my perspective, but what does my perspective mean to somebody that's practicing something and they enjoy it? What does it mean? You know, like, so, So for me, crystals have been life-changing. This one is a meteor, like, just really freaking cool. Like, this is a meteor rock. So I've had some wild dreams with these. This is pink quartz. This one here, it's kind of hard to zoom in. This is pink quartz here. And so, yeah, I probably will start selling these. It just takes a lot of work, but I wanna, there's so much I have, y'all. Like, there's so much I have in store, like, but even this one, you know, like, we are literally antennas, okay? In copper, I wear copper. This is all copper. Like, most of these are copper. This is copper. Copper, they use that in electronics. They use that in satellites, okay? So let's think about the things that they're like, you know, and it's like people be like, oh, you don't need copper, you don't need crystals. No, you don't, but it amplifies. You don't need it. But scientifically, coming from a scientific standpoint, they amplify energy, period. This is a satellite. Like, this is a signal booster, okay? These are signal boosters. All of these are signal boosters. The copper is a signal booster. Even diamonds are a signal booster. Diamonds are basically a crystal, but a harder crystal, okay? Silver, like, if you look at the ancients and how they use these tools, okay? If you go back to that, and they were able to tap into God. They were able to read the stars with these things. They were able to heal people with these things before there was a modern medicine. So that's where I'm at with it. It's very holistic. It's not like, okay, I'm gonna start worshiping the rocks. I don't worship the rocks. The only thing that I worship is God. I will thank them. I will appreciate them just like I would thank any other human being that does something for me. We like to be thanked. We like to be appreciated. We like to gratitude to be shown towards us. But am I going to grovel at it, worship? No. Because I know it's the power that it has did not come from itself. It's come from the Creator that created everything. So I really wanted to go over that because there definitely is a lot of stigma around it. There's actually a lot of history around it. But this video is already pretty long. I will do another video about why, okay, there is literally almost an epigenetic memory. So something in our DNA, something in our spirit that makes us afraid of crystals. And this is across the board. It definitely probably got to do with witchcraft. Like, you know, them trying to, you know, destroy people and kill people because they were practicing certain things. But what it really got to do with is our ancient civilizations that started to use these gifts, these tools, and they started to use it and they destroyed themselves. So we as a whole, from this planet, even if you're not from this planet, most likely because we're all one, because there's a collective consciousness, we have that memory. And people, because of that memory, are automatically turned off, run away from, scared of crystals because of the ancient history behind it. But I'm gonna do a whole nother video about that because that's a whole nother topic. But I wanted to explain to y'all why I enjoy crystals. You know, literally help me heal. Literally, I can feel it in my body. When you start feeling things, look, you know, I can't deny it then. You know, I can't deny it then. After I felt a heartache after I took this crystal off and I put it back on and it went away. You know? And it's like you have to be aware. You have to be aware. You have to be spiritually aware. And it's not like I was looking for, you know what I'm saying, to feel the sensation. There wasn't like a conscious effort, but I don't know. I'm just spiritually sensitive. And I think with the ascension process going on in the world, everyone is getting more sensitive. So if you're willing to try it, pick up a crystal, pick it up. Make sure that you do cleanse it. Salt water, you can do dry salt depending on the crystal. Google the best way for each stone, figure out which stone it is. I will say, if you do decide to try it, I think the coolest thing about it is that your soul and spirit will gravitate you towards the crystal that you need the most at that moment. Because when I bought the garnet, I wasn't thinking, okay, I got a heartache, let me just get this garnet. I was just like, okay, this is a beautiful color, like it makes me feel nice, it just feels nice, so your body would tell you what's good for you at that moment in time in your life. And the fun part is looking it up after, like, oh, because you don't know that you need that, until you look it up. You may not think that you may need it, or until you look it up. Your spirit is telling you something. You know what I'm saying? The energy of the stone is telling you something. The universe is telling you something. God is telling you something through the crystals. So it's something to think about. If you're not into crystals, think about it. Research it, okay? Research it. But like I said, it's about balance. I'm not using this thing to worship. I have a relationship with them, yes, but they're just like any other human being that I have. They are my brothers and sisters, just like the birds are, just like the trees are, the air, the sky, the planets. They're all to me, they're all my brothers and sisters. They have been created just like me. So take it off my chest. It felt good. But I wanted to share that with you guys. And you are beautiful, you are loved, and remember, you are never alone. Take care.